Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome, welcome. We're here for a mobility extravaganza. I'm just trying to get our timer up. There we are. There are your comments. Hello, Heather, Joy, Paul, Tracy. I think I saw Colleen and Dick get in there too. Welcome. All right, so here's what's happening today. We're going to go through a progressive resistance practice. Some of the resistance will simply be your body weight only, and that's it. Some of it will be smaller weights. So I'm gonna have my 5 pounds out, and I'm actually gonna bring out for me, whoopsie, my kettlebell, which is, this is a 25 pounder. We may or may not. We'll see how we get to the towards the last round. And then something like, it's gonna be challenging for you. I'm gonna go a 15. That's for kind of the second round, and this is for the third round. Now, your first round can absolutely be body weight, which is totally fine. So some of the movements, lots of the movements we're about to do in the chair will be body weighted, but you can have your 5 pounders close by. So actually, let's go here and here for a little bit later and just move them over. We're gonna start standing on the mat with our chair. We've got 3 rounds of the similar or same exercises, targeting our hip mobility, our spinal mobility, our shoulder girdle mobility, and the support through the center. So we're gonna start moving our spine to warm everything up. If there's questions about anything, put them in the comments. I can see you, so this is all good. I'm kind of excited about today. We don't often get a long form mobility class, and a lot of times our recovery is really focusing on pulling back in. Today's recovery is focusing on restoring some level of mobility through challenge. It doesn't mean we're gonna sweat the whole time. You might a little bit, but it does mean we're gonna have some good movements. Lots of breathing towards the end. All right, so stand across from your chair. You want to be about at a level that when you fold your hips, you can take your hands on the chair and they're going to be outstretched. So I might move a little longer because we're going to do a little spinal wave. So there's this kind of sweet spot as we round the spine, as we come through. If you want to use your countertop to do this action, then by all means go for it. But let's start standing up nice and tall after you've measured your distance. And then just place your fingers at the crease of your hips, and let's begin just by folding forward in the hips, reaching all the way over, and then lift up. No flashlight today. He is in the dog house. He stays home with my husband sometimes, and he was not happy that he didn't get to come to work, so I just got a phone call that he made his way up onto the counter and ate a whole loaf of bread. That dog. Message received, Flashy, you know. Let's do 2 more like this, just folding in the hips, lengthening up through the backs of the legs. And it's natural to shift into the heels at the beginning, but let's try to take the next ones shifting a little bit more towards your toes so you can feel just a little bit more activity in the back of your legs, not just stretch, but also that sense of keeping you from falling forward, yeah? Good, I know I said two. Let's just do one more. We'll fold forward, we'll take our hands on the chair, and then we're just gonna bend the knees as much as you need to come into a long, flat back. From here, curl your tail under, look deep into your center and round your spine. Let your shoulders separate, and then do the opposite. Arch your back, lengthen the sides of your body, lift your chest, and add those eyes in, looking up, yeah? If you didn't take the eye-opening flow yesterday, it was a great way to really unlock some areas of the body, open the eyes a bit more, integrate some visual aspects. We're gonna do a couple more of these just standing cat-cows. Rounding, reaching, and again, starting from the tail, meeting that rounded shape with your head, reaching through the tail, good. Now, let's round the spine one more time. We're gonna go through this a little differently, so stand well into your feet. You're in a rounded back. We're gonna continue to round the spine, pressing your hips forward. You still got weight on your feet, weight on your hands, and then when you get to the point you can't go any farther, you're going to ripple through your spine to come back down. So it's like a spinal wave, curling under, reaching forward, lengthening out, and rippling down. Now, it is kind of first-ish thing in the morning, so if it's not happening in as much of a wave as you want it to, just do what you can to let it feel free and open. Oh my God, I know, flashlight. He's a bad boy. Let's go. Two more. This is your chance to just let it go. Releasing as you do. Last one. Reaching forward, and then go ahead and take your hands towards your knees, round your spine, and roll all the way up through the spine. All right, we got a little bit more lotion, so to speak. Let's take the chair now and just place it in front of you. And you're gonna stand with one foot on either side of the chair. If your chair's super wide, just go with your feet a little wider than hip width distance apart. And what we're gonna do is just take our hands, turn the torso, and with that comes the knee. And I want you to throw your hands down like you're slamming something, a ball, a box, anything down, and bend your knees as you do. Coming up over the chair, turning to the opposite side, and throw. I'm gonna lose my bracelets, but it's okay. So we come up, throw. Come up, throw. As you throw, think of putting weight into your front leg. Weight into the right, weight into the left. So we're just starting to get a few level changes here, yeah? Lift, throw. Lift, throw. Lift, throw. Lift, throw. Think about what you can do to make your center feel really strong as you go side to side. This is also a really great way to get rid of any excess stress, thoughts, things that don't need to be here in your session. Let's go for 4. Good. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Come all the way up. Take your arms out to a T. We're gonna bring the left hand across your chest. Hinge at your hips. Reach down towards the front corner of your chair and come all the way up. And do the opposite. Good. Right now, just keep your chest facing forward. Reaching forward. Good. Am I sure it wasn't my husband who ate it? I am very sure it wasn't my husband who ate it. My husband is also in fitness. Shocker, right? And I don't think I've ever seen him eat a a loaf of bread. Good. That's it, good. All right, take that left hand, bring it across to the chair. Even if you have to bring it on the back of the chair, we're gonna just take a twist, reaching your arm up to the sky. Push down through that front hand. Your weight's in your legs, you're turning. It's the first twist, it might not be the most open twist. Good, come all the way up, reaching over to the other side. That's it. Good. And come all the way back up and stand. Now, if you are taller and you can easily lift your leg up and over the chair, then I'd like you to have the back of the chair facing you. If that is a challenge, then have the front of the chair facing you, okay? We're gonna just do a little hip warm up here. So stand behind the chair, hands on hips. First, just lift your knee above the top of the chair, and then the other one. Regardless of which side is facing you, just try to get your knee above the level of the chair. Good. Up and up. We want to bring a little more warmth into our bodies today before we start to get into these rounds. Yeah, we're just about there. Good. Up. One more each side. Good. And good. Now, we're going to step back a little bit. Try not to get the plants. And we're going to see if we can step on the right, lift, I'm nervous, lift the right leg up and over and down, and then lift the right leg up and over and down. We're going to stay on the same side. Up and over and down, up and over and down. Arms can go out to the side too. That feels like it gives me a little more balance. And again, if you're just lifting your foot or your knee above the height of the seat of your chair, that's fine. This is just to get a little dynamic motion in your hip. Good, let's go one more each side, one more each direction. Good, shake it out. Stand on your right leg, let's go to the left with the left. I'm not really super concerned about your timing or cadence here. If you need to go a little slower, that's fine. I don't think faster is necessarily what you need. Unless you're some kind of can person, kickboxer, what have you. Let's go one more each direction. Excellent, good. All right, shake it out. We're gonna do one more thing standing. Bring your right leg up and onto the chair, either way, as long as you can do a little bit of holding on. And then I just want you to rest your thigh on that chair. All right, from here, flex your foot. You're gonna bend your knee to bring your heel over to one side of the chair, to the inside. Slide it over, and then do the other side. This is really happening from your hip. So you want your thigh bone to stay generally in the same place. And we're just doing a half little circle. Now, you can do this on the floor. If it's not working for you up on the top, you can just, or you can sit in your chair and do it on the floor. We're just gonna do a couple more. Reaching forward. Good. It's really just rolling this thigh bone outward and center, and then inward and center. Bend your knee. Can you lift it off? Can you take it off? Let's do the other side. Almost time to take our seat. So stretching forward, we're pulling it across and center and across and center. Good. And just looking to see, can I do this without adjusting the rest of my body? Can I kind of stay active throughout? Good work. Always exploring the small motions. What's there for us when the movement is little, in terms of support, in terms of mobility, in terms of accessibility. One more time on each direction. Good. And we are here. All right, go ahead, come on around. Let's have a seat in your chair. You have two options. Your first is to do your shoulder rolls without any weights. We're just gonna be working them in a big rolling action like so. The second is to pick up your 5-pound dumbbells or whatever you're using today and bring them down by your side. Remember, when we're sitting up on our sits bones, the spine is tall. You're using those dumbbells holding long. Your elbows are not bent, so we're not going to grip through our wrists and our shoulders. Instead, we're going to work our shoulder blades around to move those weights. So we bring them forward, we bring them up, we bring them down and back. Good. And we go again. All the way up and around. Resist the urge to, you can definitely hold on with your grip strength, but resist the urge to kind of bend in your elbows, your wrists, and really work your back here. The length of your spine, the stretch by pushing down into your hips and up into the crown of your head is going to help with that oppositional energy just a little bit. Let's go one more time. And then we're going to reverse. So bring them backwards, squeeze the blades, lift them up to your ears, forward and all the way down. Let's do it again. Back and squeeze. I'm going to separate my legs a little just for a little more stability and support. Bring them back, lift them up. So sometimes adding just a little bit of weight is enough feedback for your shoulders to start recognizing that, oh, I can lift up and I can go down, right? Let's go 2 more. All the way forward. Excellent. And 1 more. Good. All the way down. All right, so we're gonna take one weight here and the other one is going to come up over your shoulder. Again, if at any point you want to not use weights, just place them gently to the side and just move with your own body weight. So nice and tall, we're gonna press the first arm up. Then we're gonna lift the shoulder blade up with a straight elbow and then pull the shoulder blade down with a straight elbow. And do that one more time. Lift the shoulder blade up with a straight elbow, pull it down with a straight elbow, and bend to the shoulder, pause. With the left heel, lift the heel up and lower it all the way down. Lift it up, your left hand is just keeping the weight there. Lift it up and lower down. Lift it up and lower down. And one more time. And let's go to the other side. Pressing up all the way over your shoulder as much as you can. Lift your shoulder up. Keep your elbows straight as you pull your shoulder blade down. Lift your shoulder up. Pull your shoulder blade down. Bend the elbow and lift the left heel. Keep that shoulder blade down on the right. Lift it up. We were driving in this morning and I said, take a left right here. Josh says, it's only a one-way street. I can't take a left. And I'm like, I teach reverse fitness for a living. It's right. When I say left, it's right. He started laughing. I gave him the wrong. That's what I say in my step aerobics classes. One more time, lift it up all the time. I said, I am your mirror. Press it all the way overhead. Lift your shoulder blade up, lower it down. And again, lower it down, bend down last time for 4. So I'm your mirror. Don't try to overthink it. Just follow the leader of me. And then last one, and never ask me for directions. Ready, set, last arm, pressing up, reach and lower, reach and lower, bend it all the way down and lift and down. 2, 3, and 4, and relax. All right, let's go to the other side. Feel the difference in your shoulders. I can see the difference in mine. Sometimes moving those shoulder blades are exactly what we need. And if you found, like I would keep the same weight on your other arm, but if you found you need a little bit more on your leg, you can always up it. We'll be doing this one more time, well, a couple more times in different positions. All right, here we go. Press it up, lift your shoulder blade up, pull it down into your back, do it again. Pull it down, bend your elbow to the shoulder, lift your heel, and lower. 2, and lower. 3, and 4 with control. Press it up. And then the shoulder blade lifts. The arm stays as straight as you can, even if you're a little bit out to the side. That's okay. Do the best you can. Pull it all the way down. Lift the heel. We go up and down. Lift and lower. 2 and lower. 1 and again. Press all the way up. Lift and down. Lift and down. Bend your elbow to come down. Lift the opposite side. Heel. Good. Heel. Heel. And heel. 2 more times. Press it all the way overhead. Shoulder blade lifts. Shoulder blade lowers. Shoulder blade lifts. Shoulder blade lowers. Bend it down. Lift your heel for 4. Really trying to find the nice even distribution of weight across the front of your toes, all of them. Press up again. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Down. Sorry, I was doing 4. 4. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's do one last one. Press up. Lift. Pull the blade down. Lift, pull the blade down, pull the arm down, and lift for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And lower all the way down. All right, take those dumbbells down to the side. If you want to keep using a 5-pound, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to come into a wide stance, and I'm going to bring the 15 here right in front. So this one's a little heavier. We want to imagine that the relationship is between the dumbbell and our center here. Some of us it's going to be higher, some of it's going to be lower. What we're not doing is rounding the back to go down. What we are doing is folding in the hips to come down and then coming back up to a nice flat back, folding in the hips to lower down, and then coming up to a flat back. Every time you come up, you want to feel activity in the backs of your legs so that it is not so much of an arm exercise, but we're coming forward in a flat back. You want to push into your feet, feel a bit of a squeeze along the backs of your legs and lift yourself up to a nice, strong posture, okay? So find your stance, plant your feet, feel like you could stand up at any given time. Open your legs, hinge forward, reach for the dumbbell, press into your feet, squeeze to come up, reach for the dumbbell, and all the way to the top. If you need to go slower, then please do. Always keeping a nice strong center. The only thing that's really moving here are the hips and the legs. Your spine's moving because the hips are folding, but it's really the strength of the legs and maybe even just the hands that's helping at this point, right? So this added weight is going to help us a bit with our hip strength. Good. We're going to take the last few a little slower. So hinge forward, pull all the way up. This time keep the weight in your hands. Hinge forward, maybe you can tap it. Press down through your heels to come up, not just the toes. Hinge to tap. Press down. Let's do 2 more. Hinge to tap. Press. A little different, right? Last one, hinge. And press. Good. All right, lower the dumbbell down. If it's a dumbbell that can stand upright, this one isn't, so I'm gonna bring my other one over. Otherwise, you could take a yoga block, honestly. We're gonna do one more series of leg lifts. So we're seated at the edge of our chair, pressing your hands onto the back of the chair, and your legs are on either side of whatever the object is, back a little bit, that you're using as a gauge. All right, so we're gonna try to push down through your foot, lift one foot up to touch the opposite leg, bring it back through the center, place it down, and then do the other side. Lift and touch, and back to center. So you've got hips, and you've got some inner thigh work. Try not to compensate too much with your spine or by moving your opposite leg in closer. And of course, if your dumbbell is just on the ground, that's fine, okay? So I'm leaning back slightly, lifting up through the crown, pushing down through my arms, shoulders on the back. Fold in your hip to lift it up, touch your big toe at least, lift it all the way back, come to center, other side. Press, little inner thigh challenge on that side. I love learning what's happening in my own body, yeah? And I'm sliding a little bit. Wow, okay. That side's a bit harder for me. Some tension needs to be worked. Good. Let's go for a few more. And you're in control again of the tempo. Good. Let's go for 3. Still having a little bit of a challenge over there. 2. And last one. Come on, leg. All right. Bend your knees. Come on up into a higher seated position. Still perched kind of on the edge, hands on the back of the chair, wherever you can hold on. We're gonna do a 90-90 switch. So these are our Z sits, really simple. You're gonna drop one leg down. You can actually bring this other leg out to the side. And it's more about rotating from the hips, opening back up, dropping the other leg in. We do want to keep some level of connection with the opposite sits bone. It feels nice to kind of come off that sits bone, but if you can stay connected with your hips, and if you don't need your hands, sometimes it's nice to just go here and here, and feeling that single leg action as you kind of shift weight, trying to figure it out. Oftentimes the first 4 or so are just figuring out what needs to happen. Okay, now we want to bring that left leg over, and then we're going to see if we can press through the sits bones and engage through the core to just shift to the other side. Yeah, just shift to the other side. And just adjust your feet as needed. Stay tall in your spine. Swivel on your chair and look for the ranges or the movements that feel good for you. Yes. It's cold here today. I have the heat turned all the way down, but it's still popping on, so there you go. Chicago in the last day. Is it the last day of January? It is, right? Thank God. Thank God. Good, last one. All right, relax. Okay, my friends, we have one last exercise to do here. You can do it with or without a dumbbell. If you're never done a windmill before, then I'd like you to take, let's go in the right arm. Take your dumbbell to the right arm. We're gonna take your left arm here, and we're just gonna do these legs bent for the sake of our own coordination. So we begin by pressing the arm up overhead like we did before, and then we're gonna reach down towards your ankle. And if you can look at your arm, that's ideal. We wanna see that arm really pressed straight up to the sky. It's a little harder to know where you are when the weight is so light, so see if you can find that position for yourself. We're in kind of a side bend and an overhead press, kind of. Now, we're gonna push the arm straight up to the sky to help us recover, and then pull the arm back to the side. Is it February? I don't know. I have no idea. Here we go. Reach up. If it is, I gotta say my rabbits, you know, I always do that. All right, so find that overhead. Good, and then come all the way back up. So the first few should kind of inform you that this is indeed more of a torso exercise than anything else. It's definitely a coordination exercise, right? So if you feel that side bend and you anchor your opposite sits bone down, that right one stays down as best you can, you're gonna feel really how far you can go, which might not be very far, and that's okay. You know, we're trying to work where we are, not where someone else is. Good. Pull that shoulder down as you come up. Let's go one more time. Reaching it over. Chest stays nice and open. And then we pull back together. All right, excellent. Plenty of time. We're spending a lot of time in the chair, so there's plenty of options for those of you who need it. And then we're gonna move it on the mat next. Press up, good. Always coming back to center. Reaching and pulling. Now, that extra little push of the arm to lift you up will help you access those side muscles. So we reach over, we feel the stretch between the two arms, and keep reaching for just a moment before you pull that arm back down. It's a little twist of your spine, your neck, your eyes are definitely active in this one today. Yeah. Big reach, big pull. Let's go, last two. All right, I see the comment, I usually don't enjoy kettlebells. I blame social media and quick videos for that, because it's not easy, rest please. It's not easy to enjoy kettlebells when you're starting in the middle, and often the beginning boring stuff is really hard. And so, or really boring for video is what I mean. So if you don't set up the foundation, you don't know what you're doing, it's really hard. So this whole thing was your foundation. Now as we move on to the next round, I want to remind you that if at any point you need your chair, then you can come back to your chair, okay? So let us get set. We're going to take our chair off to the side. And this is your chance to upgrade your weights should you need them to be upgraded, okay? I think I'm gonna take my shoulder rolls just a little bit higher. And remember, you can always go back to the chair. So I'm gonna upgrade to 10 pounds for my shoulder circles. We're standing hip width distance apart. We're standing with the most amount of tension in our body that makes us feel strong, like a straight line from top to bottom runs through us, and then we'll start to roll the shoulders up, squeeze your blades back and come down. So remember, as we're doing our shoulder rolls, we're not moving in space, we're just trying to keep what essentially is like a plank, yeah? All the way up and back and down. Keeping at a really moderate pace that allows us to feel each position as we go through. I love Tracy's comment that I usually don't enjoy kettlebells. She didn't actually say she was enjoying them now, but I hope that's what she means. Yeah. Also, with any shoulder injury, it can be really hard to jump back into kettlebells, and we have a tiny baby kettlebell at home that's like a 1 pounder, but we got it because we used it in a birth announcement for our son. But honestly, like, let's reverse to your shoulder rolls. Honestly, it's a lot of weight to start with, you know, and we've always got to go back to the stress response, right? It is good for us to lift heavier weights. The heavier weights challenge us in different ways. They challenge our heart to pump, they challenge our muscles to contract, they challenge our mental endurance, and they also add stress to the body. So the thing is if an exercise modality is stressing you out such that you're not feeling like you're in your body and making good decisions, then it might not be the right modality for you, or it might be a level that's not the right one for you. That's why I always start out in the beginning, because quite honestly, I'm going to be moving for the rest of my life. I'm no longer in a competitive mode. This is your last one. And I just want to feel good at the end of the day. Okay, rest. Now we go into our ankle lifts. Now, we're gonna do this a little differently, everybody. And this is one where if you'd like to sit in your chair and just lift your heel up and down, that is here for you. Otherwise, I'm gonna ask you to come down into a kneeling position. This is our first, or our next option, I will say. So we're just kneeling in that 90-90, holding the dumbbell on. I suppose you can also do it like this. I find that it's a little bit more effective for just watching my alignment like this. Good. And then we're gonna lift and lower. Lift and lower. Yeah, that's it. Got it. I understand, Tracy. Yeah, totally understand. Good. So think of these ankle lifts as a means of practicing that eccentric strength, what we talk about a lot in here, lowering with gravity. What I'm trying to do, most of us are going to have kind of like a little indexing, a little cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha as we lower down. And that's just an indication that maybe we're not as used to lowering with such control. So being that this is kind of a laboratory situation, I'm really paying attention to the form here, that I rise and that I lower. Now, if you want to make it more challenging, you can certainly put more weight in that foot by leaning into it. So I'm going to go here for the next few. I'm just using my hand to balance the weight. I'm not kind of gripping too strong. Good. My body is saying yes. Yeah, that's a huge, I mean, what a win, you know, to receive a yes. Woo, and as you get tired, you might get a little more of that cha-cha-cha, but I really like this aspect for strengthening those intrinsic foot muscles. And you know, if you've had a foot injury, you know that the healing involves strengthening up those tiny little muscles inside. Last one. All right, let's go ahead to the other side. Move over here. So we're going to be at that 90 degree. Beginning just trying to track the ankle. I'm trying to line the center of my heel up with my second and third toes. And this is my healing foot. So this is one, takes just a little bit more management right now. Yeah. And then again, if you want to add a little bit more intensity, you can shift your weight forward a little bit more. Good. And the knees over toes people often get really nervous whenever we shift our weight forward. Like most things in fitness, don't put your knees over toes is a very specific statement that has been just like co-opted for so many different purposes that have nothing to do with you. So watch yourself during the day. Chances are you are putting your knees over toes. The difference is, where is the rest of your body in relationship? Can you place your heel down? There's a lot of other aspects, other details that are missing from that statement. So like, look, I want to be able to put my knee over my toe. That's a kind of an interesting place to do this exercise, and it's one that's challenging me in strength. But I'm supported in the rest of my body. It's really challenging me in strength. It's not, no, your kneecap isn't going to shoot out across the room unless you're doing something for the first time without a sense of yourself and your support and where you are, right? Even then, it's not going to shoot out across the room. But a lot of fitness wants us to be scared of our body. Sorry, that's the truth. Go ahead and gather that dumbbell and come to standing with me. A lot of fitness wants to be scared of our body, so when you learn your body's parameters, then you start to understand how much you can push the edges and whether or not you want to. All right, we're gonna do our overhead press again. So again, standing tall, push up overhead, get that elbow nice and strong, lift your shoulder up, lower it down. Lift it up, lower the blade down, then pull your dumbbell to your shoulder. Reach it up again, lift and lower, lift and lower, and pull it all the way down. It gets harder when the weight's a little bit more. Press up, lift and lower, lift the shoulder blade, lower the blade, pull it back down. One more time, reach up, lift and lower, lift and lower, pull it all the way down. Good, we'll switch sides. Let that other shoulder rest down. Ready, set, press it all the way up. Lift the blade, lower the blade. Do it again. And pull all the way down. And again, press up, lift and lower, lift and lower and pull all the way down. Press up, lift and lower, lift and lower, pull all the way down. Last time. Press up, strong in your spine, long in your back, lift and lower, lift and lower, pull all the way down. Good. All right, place that dumbbell off to the side. You can use it for the next exercise. I think I'll actually use my, put this out of the way so you can see it. Whee! All right, so we're gonna sit down. Again, you can go back to your chair for this one. I'm just gonna use these little dumbbells here, sitting up as tall as you can. We're gonna lift one leg up to touch the toe. We're gonna bring it back down. Lift the other leg up to touch the toe. Bring it back down, stay tall in your spine, use your hands for help. Ready, set, lift. And lower, good. Lift and lower. If you need to bend your knees, you can bend your knees to make this happen. The goal is to try to really get a deep fold in your hip flexor. So we're working the strength of that joint. So be sure that you're making sure that you're not shifting your weight to make it happen, right? But instead, trying to really work the strength of that leg and into that joint. Yes, good. Excellent. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent work. All right, come off those wrists, come onto your knees for a moment. We're gonna take our fists to the ground here and do a little kind of box push-up. So make your box a little wider, walk your hips and knees back. The idea here is to roll through your wrists to come down on your elbow and then roll onto your knuckles to come back up. So let's try this a couple times. And press. Good. Now, if this is easy with the wider stance, then perhaps you can move it and be a little more narrow, or perhaps you can move it even farther and get a little more work. This is similar to what we do with the Swiss ball, okay? Yeah. The importance of balance training and body awareness. Yeah, I'm glad my training is spot on for you. I was talking about this the other day. One of my specialties over the years has been programming. Let's do 3 more. I'm starting to slide. And that's because I like looking at the big picture and breaking it down into small measurable bites. Good, rest. Now, if you've taken this class and you're like, I don't understand it, this isn't hard enough, it shouldn't be hard enough. This is a part of the program. So go back to Monday or go back to the beginning of January, and every single week we're progressing on what we've done the following week. And that's called smart training because it takes into account everything that's happening within the whole program. Joy said it hurts your knuckles. So take pressure off of your knuckles. You can also stand and just go through the motion, or you can do it with your wrists like so. The intention is to get some motion here in the wrists front to back. So, and it's to do it with a little more weight. So always, if you find that putting weight on a joint hurts, your first mode of thought can be put less weight on that joint and see if it improves it. So usually like supporting yourself more from your lower body, or take weight off the joint and see if I can do the motion without pain. If there's still pain, that's when we have to be kind of aware of maybe there's a problem that we need to get some advice on, okay? That'll always be the deal. All right, so I've got a dumbbell here, and we're gonna go into those seated 90-90 switches. So this is where we go through our hips. Now, remember, you can do this on your chair, or you don't need the weight. You can go ahead, put your hands behind you and support yourself that way. I'm just showing this one because that's the next one here. Good. Pull it back to center. Reach it through. Yeah, and then the other thing about like knuckles and things that we're doing that are different, a lot of times things are uncomfortable because they never are stimulated. You know, typing is not stimulating for our knuckles. I know that's for me, for sure. So, and true to form, there could be a little arthritis there could be a little inflammation. So we always want to find the right kind of stimulation to keep the body going. The knuckles are no different than the eyes, it's just that we're not gonna weight bear on our eyeballs, right? They still need that stimulation. Good, we'll do one more each side. I'm walking closer and closer here. That's it. Good. All right, coming back to center. Now, we have 2 standing exercises to finish, and then we're gonna do an abbreviated version of all of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my kettlebell for the first one, and we'll see how we feel about the second one. So come on over. In the event that you wanna do this seated, this is the one where we're hinging forward from the hips, okay? So it would be exactly seated on your chair, moving from your hips. If you are gonna do it standing with me, it's gonna turn into a squat. So holding your weight, your dumbbell, you could hold it upright like so, okay? Or if you wanna hold one in each hand, that's an option for you. If you have a kettlebell, you can hold it here. We're folding in our hips, we're bending the knees, and then we're activating, pressing into the heels, using the backs of the legs to open up the hips to stand tall. Here we go, reaching down. Maybe we can touch. If we can, let it be so. If not, just keep working on bending the knees so you can touch rather than bending your back so you can touch. So the legs bring us down. Good. Reaching, pushing through to stand tall. That's it. Finding that nice strength and control in your legs. Almost there. Breathing, just paying attention to what's bringing you down and then what's helping you get back up. Good. We've got 2 more here. And last one, all the way up to the top. Okay, I'm gonna put this one down. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a dumbbell, and we're gonna go into a standing windmill. You can also do this seated just like we did before. Take one leg forward, one leg back, and my hips are facing front to start. I'm gonna start by pressing the arm overhead and find that really strong overhead place that we found before. Next, I'm gonna bend this front knee and then take myself down, keeping the arm over my shoulder. Okay, so we're as straight up. We're straight up, okay. You see that flat line across the side. I'm gonna push into my front foot, push up through the dumbbell, and then come back to center. We'll push it up each time, okay? 5 on each side. We go up, we bend the front knee, keep the back heel planted, hinge on your front hip, try to bring it up to the top, push down through your heel, lift yourself up from the center, rack it. Good. Press, rotate, reach, power through the floor and up to the ceiling, and pull. Press, rotate, reach. Where's that overhead position? Good, there we go. Power through to the ceiling and up and through. If you find you did a couple of these and you're like, you know what? I need to go back to the chair, then go back to the chair. Do this exercise in the place that feels the strongest for you. Good, last one. And reach, push up, and come all the way back to center. Good, it's not uncommon to feel both stretch and engagement on the opposite side. Let's get ready for the second side. Ready, steady, we bend, We push, we reach over, and then we push down into that foot. Ooh, this is a fun side. All the way through. Good. Press. Bending, hinging over, finding that support through your center. This is a shoulder that doesn't have quite as much strength as the other side, so it feels a little bit like a roller coaster. There we go. Yeah, this is hard. That's why you have the seated option, because it's really coming a lot from the pressure down through your legs and the strength of your torso. It's a lot of coordination of the whole body. Yeah, but you can feel how we're working on systems that might help us get up off the ground a bit more, with a bit more ease, yeah? And because your wrists are rolling around, that's why we added in the little wrist motion, yeah? This is our last one. Push down to lift up, and pull it all the way back. All right, let's take a minute. We have 3 more exercises to do in our last round. I'm just gonna grab a quick sip. You do the same. I wanna go through a couple of the exercises we did with the option to add in more or less weight should you see fit. So if you went light but you felt pretty good on the last round, you might challenge yourself to go up in a weight. If you went heavy and you found yourself really challenged, you might go down. I'm gonna bring out, the 20s are all in the back. That's how often I use them. I'm gonna bring the 20s for the shoulder press. All the weights, right? All right, so we're gonna do our press and lock out. We're gonna do our ankle lifts on the ground. We're going to do our 90-90 switch. We're going to do our windmill, and that's it, all right? I'm just gonna go ahead and make our timer happen so we know where we are. Okay, we're gonna do about 45 seconds of each. Come on, there we go, and go. Okay, now I got us. Otherwise I'll gab and we'll do like 3 minutes on one side and nothing on the other side. Me? All right, shoulder work first. We're ready. Okay, find, yeah, checked us in on, that you clued us in on fascia. Oh, did you watch the movie? That's what I want to know. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Big overhead press first. Lift the shoulder blade up. Pull the shoulder blade down. Do that again. Keep your elbow nice and strong. Pull it down all the way. And again, press, lift, lower, lift, lower, and good. Drop it down. Press, lift, lower, lift, lower. This one feels a little bit more like a support your systems thing, but we're okay. Press, lift, lower, lift, lower. Good. Yes, rest. Other side. At least one of us likes it. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Looking inside of the body is pretty like, you need a certain stomach for that. My mom doesn't understand me. I'm like, there's this great movie. Are you ready, set? Let's go. Press, lift and lower, lift and lower. Pull it all the way back down with control. Good. I'm trying to pace us in a way that really challenges the strength we need for this one. So if you need to go faster, please do, but be careful, especially if you've upped your weight. Good. Lift and lower. Lift. It's like le promenade de le, what's skin? I forgot. It's not visage, it's something else. Anyway, it's French guy who goes on a stroll under the skin. Last one. Press. Up and down, up and down, all the way down. You're done with that one. Okay. We are going into our, what did I say? We're going into our 90-90 switches, sorry. Glitch. Now, the last time we did these 90-90 switches, I'm gonna start a little bit backwards. We did the dumbbell here. This time, we're gonna do the dumbbell from one shoulder to the other. So we'll do 5 of them on one side, and then we'll switch, and that should make up everything we need. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We're coming around to the side, and then coming all the way around to the other side. That's 1. Coming around, use your hand if you need it, to the side, strong in your torso. Coming around to the other side, that's 2. Coming around, again, take the dumbbell out of it if it's too much. Good. Coming around, that's 3. Around and out. That's 4. And 1 more. And all the way to 5. Rest. Not easy. Okay. Let's find the other side. We go in 3, 2, and 1. It's helping me to keep my arm out, so if the same is true for you, please do it. Around and the other side. That's 1. So many waist exercises today. You're gonna feel right around that midsection that there's something to do there. There's actually like actions to be had, not just things to lose, you know? I think this is 3. Good. Stay lifted. Don't let that dumbbell collapse you. 4. Strong. And last one, 5. And all the way around. Get out of here. Woo. Yes. All right, ankle lifts. Options on the chair with the dumbbell, with a heavier dumbbell. I'm gonna go with my kettlebell actually on this one. I need it. And also option to lean into it. Ready, set, lift and lower. Lift and lower. I'm just using those arms to steady it, but I'm trying to get that weight to drop right down through my shin so that my foot has to work on the way down. Yeah, some people will do this one a little more kind of crouched in, which is fine if you have the knee mobility on both sides. I find more benefit doing this way. Almost there, everybody. Good. Let's go one more. And then be attentive at the weight as you pick it up. Go to the other side. Find your position. We'll go in 3. Whoop. Find your balance. 1. Lift and lower. This is one of the ways for me to add on a little bit of extra weight into my ankle work, which I should be doing more of. Good. Slowly, slowly, slow progress, you know? Almost there. Got one more to do after this and we're good to go. And rest. Okay. Let's decide what weight you're going to use for your final series of windmills, whether you're going to do it seated or standing. I think I'm going to finish with my 20. I did my last one with my 15. So 45 seconds per each side. We go in 3, 1 foot this way, 1 foot that way, press it up, and then over. It is much easier to keep it towards the sky when it's heavier in my opinion. I'm getting a much more definite joint message, yeah? And I'm keeping my arms straight for this one. If you want to bring it down in between, please do. This is our finisher, so it's kind of nice to work on that locked elbow, what we did earlier. Good, last 5 seconds. There it is. Good, switch sides. Woo. All the way in, all the way up. Get that elbow nice and strong. Here we go, reaching. Sometimes I have to adjust my stance a little bit to find the right amount of support. Thinking about my torso really being like, ooh, one unit. Front, side, back, all parts of my trunk working like a team. Sending my spine over in a nice connected unit, pulling it back up, working on that leg power. Good, last 10 seconds. Three, two, one, come back into center. All right, let's put that weight off to the side carefully. You can move your others. You're all done for the day. Let's stand. Let's bring the backs of the hands together, rounding the spine, stretching open that lower back, reaching. Pull your elbows back, chest on the ceiling. Open your heart. And again, pressing, rounding. Good. One more like this. Reaching through, let the lower back stretch. Pull up. Now from here, keep your legs straight and just do your upper back. Reaching forward, shoulder blades separate. Pull through. Reaching forward. Pull through. Now if you need more stretching, remember we did stretch quite a bit. Rest. Let's take a final roll down. But you can always go back to another mobility stretch class and do a little, or trust yourself to choose some movements. Let yourself hang for a moment. Just get the stretch you need, maybe folding at the hips to come a little closer to your legs. Bend your knees, rolling up through the spine, all the way to the top. Good. Did we determine what month it is? We're gonna go with we're gonna go with the January's last chance January. Come on. Are you doing it? Maybe we're not doing it. All right, last chance January's questions. Last chance for January's questions. Why did the movement matter to you today is number one. How will it show up later in your day, your week, your life? Number two. And lastly, what comes next for you? Is it rest? Is it food? Is it more movement? Is it less movement? Is it something creative? Is it work? Thinking about what logically comes next, even if that thing isn't quite on your agenda. I think that is a really important piece for us all. So remember that this inquiry is meant to help your intuition, and a number of you spoke about got it, February 1st. Oh my God, 155-month dating anniversary. Wow. That's a lot of months. Anyway, this is your chance to embed the intuition, and a number of you, I can see it coming through in the comments. So good work this month. New content coming out this weekend. I'll see you on Monday at 9:30. There are no classes up yet. They will be by the end of the day on Saturday. You'll see all the descriptions. I look forward to moving with you more. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye.